Hello and welcome to another episode of the LTA Report. We got so much to talk about. Last week's games were quite disappointing for some people that might be on the podcast, and quite uplifting for people who weren't on this podcast and maybe did their podcast on Monday. A lot like the flight crew, they were pretty happy with what they did. Let's just talk about last week. So FlyQuest versus C9 happened. I think that's probably the marquee matchup. I called that FlyQuest would win, just and Cloud9 would probably win the split, but I thought that just like right now, FlyQuest might have a little bit of an advantage. But boy, I did not expect what happened. That was, I mean, that was rough. I'm gonna throw it to you because you're a resident Cloud9 fan. What happened those games?
Nothing ever to say, then we got absolutely just shit on. Like, there's nothing else really to it. We so from like coaches' communication and like the whole team side of things, there was an overconfidence in their own play from how it's been going, how they've like performed against Fly and TL in regular season. That they are the best team right now, and they just got humbled. Like Fly, not that they showed their full card, but they kind of showed, or like they showed their hand in how they're going to try and contain C9. It's now up to them if they do get the chance to have a rematch in the upper bracket final, how they'll play against them. Because what I've liked with Fly and C9 this entire year is the actual draft adaptation from both teams. So, like coming into the year, Fly had the Urgot Ivan comp, and C9 found a comp like the Camille with Talia and stuff like that that completely obliterated it. And now this is like the next evolution of okay, now Fly's identified a new way of like shutting us down. And the Volibear is a problem, man. Like it's not even in lane that it was like a problem. It was afterwards where they were just continuously just diving us left, right, and center. But Cubby's willing to give them a pass, so I am as well. I said to myself, like prior to even this game, and like people who know me, I know I've said this. I would rather take 0 kills in both of these games now, and then show up in playoffs when it matters. Because so many times we've been the regular season team that stomps Fly and TL. Like our record against them in the past 2 years in regular season has been very, very good, and then in playoffs we finished fourth, or sometimes not even that. So the main thing is breaking that duck in playoffs. That's my only like focus, and like it remains the same.
So I'll give you a little bit of copium. Cloud9 played a very weird non Cloud9 comp. And I'm not sure if that was specifically to counter whatever FlyQuest or like to catch them up surprise or to show, hey, we can play this too. Kind of like what FlyQuest did, where they pick the rumble in the top lane, then they flex it to keep you on your toes and let you have to worry about the fact that, hey, we could actually just like flex these champions. So coming into best of fives, you have to be worried about these champions. It could be that type of strategy, but like you're putting Thanatos on Ornn? Like this guy's just like stomping every single lane, and you're putting him on a champion that doesn't stomp lane. That's like 90% of his usefulness. Like I thought if like the drafts were opposite, it makes more sense for Cloud9 to be playing FlyQuest drafts and for FlyQuest to be playing Cloud9 drafts from what we've seen this entire split. But then both teams decided to show, hey, we can play this other style, and like FlyQuest showed that they can play the other style, whereas I don't necessarily think Cloud9 can play the FlyQuest style of like, hey, let's wait until third dragon, 22 minutes into the game, win a team fight around Atacon or Dragon, and then and like push our lead. Like that's not Cloud9. Cloud9 have been stomping people in lane and around grubs like super early on, 8, 9, 10 minute fights. They were still taking those fights, but with late game champions, and they were losing. And it's like, I was very confused watching those games, like from the draft phase, and then they didn't play the comps the way the comps are supposed to be played, which told me like, hey, they were trying to show something, and this wasn't like Cloud9 at 100% power. But I feel like after you get stomped in game one in like 25 minutes, you go back to what's working in game two instead of like saying no, we could have done it better and then losing in just the same amount of time. I don't know. That game two was more confusing to me than game one, but I I didn't take too much
Well,
away from it saying that Cloud9 sucks. It was more like, can Cloud9 just play their own style and
oh,
then maybe it would be
believe me,
more.
brother, the entire narrative for most of these people have absolutely flipped on its head within the space of a week. Like from when I watched pros to like the now. Okay, I did say that TL are a drastically better team when Spawn comes in, but like preview our playoff series a little bit. You don't know what Yuji's going to be like if he even
Yeah.
starts. And then how is Umpty going to react to having to be like he's coming back in? Like that added pressure of if he doesn't perform, he's getting subbed out mid series. And if I think TL are subbing out a jungler mid series, that series is a wrap because I don't think the team is performing anywhere near they should be if a jungler is having to be swapped out.
I don't think it's a case of having to be swapped out. I think what they were doing, what they plan on doing is using the players for different like drafts. So like the tank junglers, they're gonna have Umti play it, and then they're gonna have UG play the carries. So it might be like game one and two, you see.
In Fearless, it's like a lot harder to like in especially like jungle. It's really hard to like you can I have a little bit of faith in C9 to actually cook up a draft that would target that quite well.
FlyQuest.
But
I think FlyQuest will take advantage of that too, to be honest.
I think maybe we don't even get the opportunity, but I still think 100 Thieves is actually quite a good Fearless team. Like in best of fives. But we'll see what you guys do against them. If well, that's assuming you lose to FlyQuest, which like right now I am predicting that to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be 3-0, like a lot of people are gonna predict. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be all 3-0s on like the lounge before, like when they're doing their predictions, which is like we have consistently over the past like year, like 2 years, played FlyQuest very very close. The only series where we didn't take them all the way is like in Shopify history actually, when we had Revan is the very first week when we had a sub, when we didn't have Seus. We lost
Yeah.
2-0. Besides that, like even the 2-1 that we lost, like we should have beat them. You go back to last year, it was a 1-2 as well. Like we should have won game 1. We lost it because Inspired was a superhero. We won game 2 and then we lost game 3 pretty convincingly. And then you go back even before that, like the regular season, it was best of ones. We won one, and the first game we were completely and entirely like stomping them. And then Insanity decides to jump in on Zach, like straight up dive 1v5, and we lose the game. But like in general, for some reason, this team, like we have like a not that bad matchup against them. So I don't think it's gonna be a 3-0. I think it's most likely a 3-1. But I wouldn't be surprised if we took them to 5 games. I would be surprised if we won. If we won, I would legitimately be like, okay, we're doing something that we shown a lot of improvement or fly like yeah, I don't think we can win. But I do think that it's probably a 3-1. But speaking of like Team Liquid and just 100 Thieves, sorry, I think right now they're like 3 teams can actually win the split. I don't think it's 4 anymore. I don't think there's a top 4. I think it's the bottom 5 and the top 3. I think 100 Thieves just fall off. I think Team Liquid like are the dark horse, and generally speaking, I think the two favorites, like if I was like betting books, right? I would say FlyQuest is
Yeah.
like FlyQuest and C9 are 1 and 2. Probably FlyQuest 1 right now because of the overreactions from like the best of 3. And then I would say Team Liquid as like the dark horse. Everyone else is just like not even. Yeah, I would be very surprised if someone else won the title.
It so I'm gonna answer this from a C9 perspective first. This this playoffs determines for me is whether we need to change our head coach coming into summer because this can't keep like and I haven't like I'm not where David is at the moment where he's saying that we choked. I don't see losing to a team of like equal strength like this a choke. Like we wasn't one was never in like I what we did against this FlyQuest team is not I consider a choke. Like yeah, we got absolutely bitch slapped and we didn't show up. But
I mean, not showing up and choking aren't they like very similar things?
It, like I would consider losing to TL or 100 Thieves a choke right now.
I see, I see. It's more of like semantics. Like choke is when you lose to someone worse than you, whereas not showing up is when like you're
Like,
playing someone.
yes, Spawn makes a massive difference, but right now, like, what to me, when like C9 needs to break this narrative because at some point it has to happen. Otherwise, I'm sorry, like the players aren't being changed, and we've now had a head coach that's now overseen this in what would be 4 different playoffs. So like from 2024
I mean, I
and
wouldn't count the first playoffs of the split. Like that's a little disingenuous. It was like what 3 weeks?
we beat my brother. We needed to beat them. Like that was our opportunity to
That
win.
was your
TL was
opportunity.
at
Yeah.
TL was at their worst. We were in a not resoundingly, but we were comfortable in game one. Had better draft. We lost that series. Um, and now you're staring down the barrel of if you lose to TL, then you have to go into another high pressure series against 100, probably I would say 100 Thieves. Like, obviously, it's see how teams look in playoffs, but you're then thrown into this do or die situation again. And yeah, in recent times, we haven't won the do or die situations. And then at that point, like, what do you have to look forward to in the summer? Because I don't want to go through another regular season of we're bitch slapping flying TL, finishing first or second place, and then losing playoffs again. Because trust me, the fan base is getting fucking reckless on this organization, and we will cover that when we do our video with David. But it is do or die time for me in this coach because I was never on board with the Reaper reacquisition in the first place. Like how like the fall off or the fallout from the 2020 roster to me was unacceptable, and to me he was never welcome back as the coach. I allowed it because like well one what like it was a cheap move that the org did, and what like with the what I assume the finances right now, who are we gonna bring in? And looking around, how many like great options were there like to begin with that already wasn't locked up?
I don't know. I kind of disagree with you there. I think that this year, Cloud9 has done the most improvement. And the coaching staff, I feel like
Okay,
I would give them coaching staff of the split of the year so far. I feel like what they've been doing with integrating new players, different languages, and like actually playing good, solid macro, figuring out their strengths, and like you said it last split, they finished second. This split, they finished second again, but like in the regular season, right? But we've seen consistent improvement out of them. I think you give this coaching like not just the head coach, but you give this coaching staff a year because I personally have liked like last year I was saying they're not improving. Like whatever Reaper is doing is not working. But this year, whatever he's doing is working. That's how I feel personally. Like maybe you don't lift the
I agree,
championship
but
this
it's
split, but
also
yeah.
I agree, but at some point you have to win. And like
I
while
think
yes, we
summer is
have
the
added
time time you
like,
yeah.
but that's with the assumption that Fly and TL don't improve because like, do we genuinely think that the peak levels of this team that C9 can go above that? I haven't seen that. As much as we look good, it like and as much as like the likes of APA and Whoopo really piss me off as people, like as players, and like how they speak, they have been correct in the sense that like they have clearly shown how they could shut us down in playoffs, like consistently. Like no matter if we should have won that TL series in the spring, like the result still went TL's way. And as a fan base, you can't keep doing the regular season shit and then not winning. Or like we're not even winning. We're not getting to finals. Like we need to be. Like how many times do we actually get to finals weekend? Like it's not a lot recently, and
No, no, no.
we
What do you
need
mean
to.
by recently? You haven't made three of them, right? In the past, like you didn't make the one in 2020, three spring and summer. Well, the spring technically you did, right? Because you were third. You didn't make the one in summer, and then you didn't make the split one. So it's like two splits in a row. Which again, for Cloud9, that's
Like
like a problem.
I'm. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I may sound spoiled, but I'm coming from a fandom that I saw my team go to Worlds for like almost 10 straight years. Being every single year we're in a final, and then from 2020 to 2023, like 4 seasons in a row, we were winning championships. We have like definitely improved, and but people like I kind of get the sentiment where they were saying, okay, but if Flying TL starts showing their like peak again, then we're just third, and that is tough. And like it may sound spoiled because like not even to mock your team, but like you don't get to watch your team go to Worlds. So like I'm in a more spoiled position because I have seen 10 plus years of Worlds and quarterfinals and championships. But Reaper's got a lot to like. At some point, the players have to break that duck. And if if it doesn't happen this split, like yeah, you do keep everything together for. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have said summer, but for 2026,
That part I'll
he,
agree
he
with you.
has
Sure, yes.
he has to go, and he's not the only one on my like fraud watch as well.
All right, we'll get more of your fraud. Well, I guess we won't get more of your fraud watch if you do well, but if you don't do well, we'll get more of it, won't we?
It sparked the conversation between like the fans. Like, what do you do for next year's roster? Say it's like the same as what it has been. Like you drop out to Fly TL, or in this instance, it'd be drop out to 100 Thieves or Shopify in lower bracket. Like, what do you do for next year? Because the like the NA like the NACL like mid pool you could probably pull from if you wanted to pull someone from there. Where the fuck are you pulling from anywhere else? Because like that's where it gets scary for me. Because you have to look at where you're importing. Because if you assume that Thanatos like wants to go back to Korea, like do you keep Loki? Do you keep him on? And then you only have one import slot. So where do you import that? In my eyes, it probably I don't like importing AD carries. It's just a really hard role to like import in.
I mean,
But
Sven has been quite successful, but I agree with you. Like Bang came, didn't win. Like we've had a lot of 80
oh,
carries, like
it's not even
Piglet.
that. It's just like I feel there is more influential roles to import in. So like I would rather try and get like an import jungler or like from Europe or a support player. That's because what I am so envious of with like TL and Fly is they have these variants that just absolutely run the map by like they bend the game to their will. Like when I know Booker ints the hell out of like most of the games, but the games he doesn't, where he's clearly identified a plan, and he even said it in his interview, like how he was going to nullify Thanatos and they're gonna win through topside, and then he just did it. It's like wow, that I am not seeing my players say like we're gonna do this.
I'm assuming Blabber's on your fraud watch, isn't he?
Um, Lava would be a tell me the rest of the roster, and then I'll say yes or no.
I mean, I doubt Thanatos and Loki are on your FOD watch because they're relatively new and they're like
No,
improving.
like okay. When I say fraud watch, it's like what do you do with the pieces that you have? Because I don't think as good as Vulcan has like returned to form. He's not what he was in 2020, 2021, where he was like I was saying with the others. He's kind of bending the game to his will in terms of like map movement. And while I think he's been very, very good, but like you saw what Core did in like your series, where he was just given that contract for absolute elo hell, and
Yeah.
it's like I want these innovative players on my team. Like I want these players that are gonna think outside the box and like really nullify teams.
C9 Carrier, maybe?
Dude, we'd have to sell all our rosters.
Or you could get another sponsor. Oh, speaking of sponsors, amazing segue. Team Liquid lost a sponsor. Maybe you could pick them up. You already have a car sponsor. Never mind. Um, let's talk about that a little bit. So let me just like describe what happened. Was this Monday? I think it was Monday. Rainbow Six is a pretty big game in Brazil, right? It's not like Dota, right? It's not like League of Legends. It's not like that big, but it's also like they quite. Was it Free Fire or Rainbow Six? I think it was Rainbow Six, right?
Rainbow Six.
Yeah. So a Rainbow Six Brazilian player on Team Liquid was playing against a Japanese opponent, and he lost. And out of frustration, he tweeted at him publicly a picture of a bombing happening, a bomb, an explosion, a big one, to a Japanese player, right? Probably shouldn't do that publicly on Twitter after losing to him. But he did. And guess who Team Liquid's biggest sponsor is? Or one of their biggest sponsors? Team Liquid Honda. It's in their name. Do you know where Honda is manufactured? Do you know what Honda is? A Japanese company. That tweet made national news in Japan, and Honda decided to sever their ties with Team Liquid. You can't have one of your players doing that when you're sponsored by a Japanese company after you lose to a Japanese player. Like you can't. And I want to make two things very, very clear. One, I saw a lot of people being like, "Oh, he just didn't know." Like he wouldn't know because how would he like in America we barely learn like world history. So maybe in Brazil he didn't learn or he didn't know that like this was insensitive. Brazil has the largest number of Japanese people in the world outside of Japan. There is zero excuse. The guy knew exactly what he was doing. He knew what it meant. He knew its significance. He's seen Japanese people before. He's interacted with them before. He knows exactly what he's doing. Ignorance is not an excuse right now. So I just want to make that very, very clear. Like, yeah, extraordinarily clear. He knows what he's doing. The second thing I saw was that people were saying, like, oh, Team Liquid should have dropped him. And Team Liquid didn't. Team Liquid came out with a statement and we're like, hey, this is unacceptable. He's, reforming, getting better, like whatever, PR stuff that they said. And we're docking him 3 months worth of pay, which is, or 4 months worth of pay, which is a third of a salary. If you don't think that those are consequences, which I saw a lot of people saying, like, that's not enough. He should lose his job and never play in esports ever again. Like, when did we become an environment where you make a mistake and all of a sudden, like, you are not deserving of being in this environment or not deserving? Like, who has not made mistakes, right? Just some people's mistakes are stupider than others, sure. But, like, he didn't go up and beat the guy. He didn't go up and, like, ruin the guy's career, right? There have been people in esports that have done that and gotten away with it. Those are people, if you said you could never work in esports, I'd be like, absolutely. But a guy, like, this guy, he's like, what is he, 18 or something like that? I don't, regardless of how old he is. He made a tweet, he erased it, he apologized for it, he got punished, he lost like a third of his salary. If you don't think that's like deserving and you want him to like freaking go and be a monk and never have human interactions ever again because he's so far forsaken that the gods will never shine their light on him. Like that's just insane. That's just like not how you treat human beings as a society. I think it's just as like an esports space. I know this isn't League of Legends, but as an esports space, we should not be tolerant to stuff like this. We should tell them, hey, this is not okay. We should punish them for it, but we shouldn't just like banish them. Because what ends up happening is you banish everybody that you disagree with until you get banished yourself because you disagree with someone else. Like, or you make a mistake or something happens. That's just my view on it. I don't know if you have anything to add, but I thought like the whole thing is kind of stupid. The guy never should have made the tweet. There was more drama about the sponsor, like, oh, they were looking for a way to leave. And, because of this, they used it as an excuse. Whereas Travis on Monday came out and said, I did some digging and it seems like they were actually renegotiating for another extension. I don't know the details, so I'm not really going to go into this. But either way, like, the guy was at fault. He was punished. Sucks for Team Liquid. We learn, we move on. What do you think?
Um, I think firstly on the like wanting out, um, I wouldn't say I like fully agree with that. But in the sense, like it made from what people were saying, this made national news, and like this deeply like affected people. So like I can completely understand. Like TL is just a drop in the bucket to Honda, and like yes, there is a as like TL and I think Honda say they had an excellent relationship. Like 6.5 years as a sponsor is a pretty big deal, especially for like esports where car sponsorships don't last too long. Like if you think about the BMW one, like that didn't last an insane amount of time. Like we'll see. Like, it actually made me think, well, how long would how what the impact of what this means for eventual C9 and Kia, for example, or Kia and the LTA. Like how long these sponsorships will go on. But as for I haven't really like I haven't read into it too much, so I don't really want to like give my like do I think the punishment was justified? Like I don't know. Like I haven't enjoyed how I've seen like the discourse on social media around it though. Like I think it's very like cancer culture in some ways. Like we can have genuine conversations as things and disagree, and it's not like one shoving something down each other's throat. But that's all I'll say on like the TL front. For the LTA, oh for TL, that's a lot of money down the drain. And like I tweeted at the time, that is a lot of money, probably like upwards of 1 million, if that. Like it's around, I assume that figure, which is a lot of money. You don't just replace that. Like in the marketing team, are gonna have to work tenfold to get another sponsor, which I don't think they'll have a problem. It's just an unnecessary um like problem that they now have to solve.
Yeah, and it's also a case of like you might have to replace Honda with like three sponsors instead of one, and all of a sudden it's like three times the work for like a third of the effort result, right?
Yeah, because it's the long-standing relationship. Yes, even if it was, let's just say it's hypothetically 1 million, that their figure has probably gone down over the years. So like 1 million, you're not going to probably get like off the jump. That's just hypothetical numbers, but
And
like
if you're in the news, like you're going, people are looking up, Team Liquid and trying to see do their due diligence. They're like, oh, they just lost a sponsor because one of their players did like the stupidest thing ever. Maybe we don't want to be, with Team Liquid, or maybe they do, but then they negotiate a much lower rate because they're, worried, or Team Liquid have a black mark on them. Like their social credit score is lower, so they get, worse terms. So it does affect them long term, not just like today.
and it also just now creates this anxiety for them, like having to not monitor in some ways, but at any time a player can just say something ridiculous and it has like big implications.
Yeah. The other thing that I saw people say is like, "Oh, it was just an explosion. It doesn't have to like mean, the bombings that happen." I just want to make because that's the other thing. People were talking about Brazilian culture as if they don't have their own culture and you can just assume what it is. And people are talking about Japanese culture as if they can just assume what it is. And like you don't have to be sensitive. Like just to put this into perspective, in Japan after like World War II, right? You couldn't have in any of your media, like as the US and the rest of the world were coming up with movies and shows and stuff like that, you couldn't really have explosions. Actually, I don't know if you watch anime, but Hunter x Hunter was like really pushed the envelope with the like explosion that kind of symbolized like a nuclear explosion. And that sort of opened the door for the rest of the media actually in Japan. There were a few others that happened, but like that was really the opening of like, okay, you can actually show like these bombs and explosions. And I know nowadays we watch anime and like it's no problem, but like the like this is like not even 20 years ago where you couldn't even show that on TV. And if you look at Japan, like in general in the US, when like a nuclear explosion happens and someone survives it, guess what? They get superpowers, right? They become amazing and powerful. Like that's part of our culture. Whereas in Japan, when a nuclear explosion happens, people get mutilated. People like when it's just like the side effects, like aliens start showing up and like evil figures start forming. Like that's not a coincidence. That's part of their culture. So for you to be like, oh, you know, they're being too insensitive. Like you don't understand their culture necessarily. So like while I kind of said that he knew what he was saying, the at the same time, like the Japanese to them, it means a lot more than if he would have tweeted that to an Argentinian player, right? It just
Hmm.
culture matters. You can't just be like, oh, you shouldn't be intent. I don't know. Like I've seen a lot of silly discourse, in my opinion, online about this whole issue.
I mean, that's just the nature of social media. Like that generation, or like just modern, like the generation on social media, they can't communicate logically. They can't like articulate how they want to say things, and yeah, it's a problem.
Yeah. Anyways, we can move on to playoff previewing.
Hmm.
I kind of talked about FlyQuest Team Liquid. FlyQuest Shopify. I think 3-1 FlyQuest. I would be happy. Like my takeaways. If we drafted really well, we got advantages in draft. I know FlyQuest are like one of the best, drafting teams with like their flex picks and Bippo like playing solid drafts with clear identities. Like if we're going to Fury Leona, like let's keep going to Fury Leona. I think that's a very solid comp for us. If we're looking for Oriana angles, like make things that make sense with Oriana. I really liked some of our drafts, like with previously, like even when we beat 100 Thieves, I thought we had like very good drafts. I want to see good drafting. I want to see like actual gameplay. The first 15 minutes, I don't want us to get stomped. We've consistently gotten leads first 15 minutes. I want us to continue to do that. I don't want us to like stop learning. And then like if we lose the fights in the mid to late game, like I understand they're a better team as of right now, but I just want us to like our strengths, I want them to continue to be strengths against even the best like currently number 1 team. If we get that, get good drafts, maybe make some plays like here and there, I would be very happy. I don't want us to like hopefully Busio doesn't pull a core JJ and like completely ruin our games, but I think as long as we have solid games, we'll have a chance to take a game off. 3-1, I'll be happy, satisfied. Going into the 100 Thieves game, I think we'll have the momentum, we'll have better prep. I think just by the sheer fact that we are upper bracket, we're going to have a better time against 100 Thieves. Even if they show improvements, I still think we'll win, even if they're like technically the better team, just because we're coming from the upper bracket and we're more fresh and whatnot. So that's what I want to see basically. Um, I don't know if you have too much to say about this, or you just want to get straight into your Team Liquid C9 preview.
Uh, I think you get 3-0 personally, but like I'm not gonna debate you on like the 100 Thieves series because like yes, it was nice for them to get like a little bit of a confidence booster. Like I've been in this position before where if you remember the Summit roster
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
where like we
Oh
got
three
absolutely
three
bitch
oh
slapped in the upper
03.
bracket. 3-0'd Golden Guardians for oh yeah, we're back. Like we're playing on, we're playing these like scaling comps, no more just hard forcing it top. And then the next series we went straight back to how we were playing. because we're cocky again, and then we got 3-0'd by 100 Thieves. Um, I need to see 100 Thieves in action before. The one thing I'm interested in is that they're starting this life in the low bracket. Like, how do they handle that pressure? They've been, to be fair, they've been able to handle the pressure. There's like they haven't looked good, and I just want to say this now to 100 Thieves fans. David's probably gonna fucking clip this up. Stop using us as like this fake rivalry. Like, because 100 Thieves can't get it done and win in the big one, they're immediately jumping and latching on C9 because we're in our like our what soccer fans call banter era, where they're not winning, and like I enjoy the like the back and forth, like well not even back and forth, but like I enjoyed the little like chirps I do at David and like does back. I just don't concern myself with them. Like, who the fuck are 100 Thieves? Like, I am not thinking about them. Like, not in playoffs. I'm not sitting there thinking, "Oh my gosh, if we lose, we gotta go against 100 Thieves." Like, I'm not panicking. I don't think they're a good team. If they beat us, I'll be the first one in line to say like, "Fair play, fair enough." But at some point, we as our own team, if we're favored to progress and go, like people were talking about us for finals and maybe MSI. So we need to completely shut that shit down. And if we don't, then like fair play. But I ain't concerning myself with like 100 V's, even like a Shopify. But you haven't really been chirping at me. I just like it's 100 Thieves. Like I'm sorry. Like everyone and their mother disrespects them. Maybe I do as well. I just when I look at rivals, I think I want to go. They don't chirp to FlyQuest and Team Liquid. I know David does, like specifically David does it with Team Liquid, like, and that's fair enough because he genuinely has like the thing with their org. But the entire fan base, like, why are you focusing on us? Because then you're lowering your standards because we'll probably be in the lower bracket. Like, focus on trying to get finals, or focus winning a game in finals. Either I'm just like if I'm gonna have my salty like thing. When was the last time like they even fucking
2021.
got a yes? Like this is why I'm saying I don't look at them the way they look at us. And like I understand it because when you're big, you're big. Like people are gonna make fun of you, and like I completely get it. But at least from my perspective, I don't. David is the only reason I look at 100 Thieves because like their owner's not watching them, like their co-streamers aren't watching them if when they even have them. Like this is all I just wanted to get the 100 Thieves stuff off my chest because David is the only reason I'm ever concerned. I will hate watch 100 Thieves because I enjoy me and David doing like back and forths.
So, what about C9 versus Team Liquid?
Yeah, if we lose that series, there's gonna be some shitstorm for my fan, like our fan base, because they've had enough. Like they've had enough of, and it's not just a combination of like league. It's the entire organization and how like the feeling around the teams right now. Um, that it's building up into this like if we lose again, then like I don't want to watch and I will wait until next its playoffs before I even watch them again. Like hypothetically saying like that is the sentiment. Like how many more regular seasons are we going to beat these teams and then don't perform in playoffs? It's boring.
I mean, you're basically the Fnatic of NA, right? Like Fnatic every split,
Right, like
they even do even
but
better. I
the
guess
difference with
Fnatic.
Fnatic is they make every single international event, and that's a testament to EU sucks and they don't have that many good teams, so the cream always rises to the top eventually. But in NA, you actually have competition. Like, if we slump, 100 Thieves is right there. Like, it's. Yeah. It's not like a, oh, we suck. It's not like a 2020, like, 2, like, scenario where. Or 23, where we didn't improve the entire season, but could go to every international event because there was absolutely no one in the league.
Yeah, I think I actually like I do think you guys are a top 2 team. Like if you don't make it to MSI,
The thing is, I sorry to cut you off. I do too. I think the narrative is blown out of proportion, but because we have consistently not made like these finals recently, the narrative will always be there until we break it. Like since the NRG series, we haven't gone to a final, and that's what 4 splits.
well 3,
Well,
right?
uh, 3, but like assuming we don't make it again, like that's 4 splits in a row. You haven't made a finals. You start to get like very frustrated as a fan base, and maybe that's spoiled.
I think context matters.
Uh,
Like, for example, in basketball, I follow like an LA team called the Golden State Warriors, and they had a
oh yeah, I
dynasty.
know. I
Yeah,
watch NBA
you watch NBA?
a bit, a bit.
Okay, so just for a TLDR, we had a dynasty where we made like every single finals. We won 3 out of 4, 3 out of 5 that we went in a row. Like you don't see dynasties like this. Then our players got injured, and like we lost a bunch of players, and sort of the dynasty sort of ended or like, was on hiatus, right? And then we came back from injuries. 2022, we win another finals, like in one of the craziest finals that this org has ever won, right? 2023, we're like, okay, time to repeat. Internal drama happens, doesn't work out. 2024, we're like, okay, well, now we have to get rid of our players. Like the dynasty is like kind of falling. Then 2025, this year, same thing is going on. Like people are just, we're not doing too good. We're like a 50-50 team or a 500 team. And then we make a trade. We get Jimmy Butler, like Miami Heat, superstar. And we have the number 1 defense in the league. We're playing like contenders. We win our first round series. It's like it's looking up and up. And then Steph Curry gets injured, and he doesn't play. Who's our star player? And we lose the series. Like we won the first game because he was there, and then he was injured, and we lost 4 in a row, and we lost 4-1. And I mean, I look at it as like if we didn't get that injury, we would have won that series. And there's maybe we lose to OKC because OKC looks kind of unbeatable, to be honest. But who knows? Maybe we make another final and like the dynasty isn't actually over. It's just like injuries kind of got in the way. It happens. But like, I am so much less sad about this season, us getting eliminated, because like Steph Curry got injured. Whatever, it is what it is. You can't control. Like, I mean, you can try to do stuff, but like, it happened. Versus 2023, where we had the same roster when we won 2022, and yet because of like team drama and people like literally one of our players punched another player and like on camera and it got leaked to the public, and it was like it felt like it was just because of internal drama that we didn't repeat victory because the team
Hmm.
wasn't playing together. And that was so much more frustrating to watch as a fan than this year, where it's like things were going good and like situations happen. And I think the same thing is true with C9. Like if you lose this year looking this way, I forgive it so much more as like a big Blabber fan, for example, than last year. Last year was like completely unacceptable to me. This year, even if you guys don't make, like, you make it to finals, or you don't even make it to finals, you lose to Team Liquid because like Spawn apparently is like the god of the jungle or something, I don't know, of LTA, and he just like figures out a way you guys finish third, and next split you guys finish third as well and don't make it to worlds, like, but still look this way. I would forgive this year a lot more just because one, the competition's a lot stronger than it was in 2023, for example, or even 2024 spring. I would just like forgive it more, in my opinion. I think like that's one thing fans don't take. Just because you didn't make like 3 finals in a row, not all finals are created equal. I think the spring one, like split one, that one you guys should probably be sad and mad about for not winning, or at least making it to the finals. But like if you don't make it this split with the way you've already looked and
The
Team
context
Liquid,
looks the context matters for this split
yes,
in
exactly,
terms of
exactly.
how we no in terms of how do we look if we go out getting like excuse the language absolutely fisted by by TL, and then we go out on a whimper, and like I'm not trying to discredit like Shopify, but if we're already completely tilted out of our heads and then we just go out on a whimper to like you or 100 Thieves, or like I imagine the world where we fucking lose to Dig.
I
Like,
mean, yeah,
I can't.
that would be
Like,
unacceptable. That would be
that's what
unacceptable.
I'm saying. Like, I'm not trying to be down because like it was just one series, but the implications for this playoffs for me is like massive because the one like I like fan content's like whatever. Like you don't really listen to fans for like the in-depth analysis. So like I won't agree on everything David says about C9. The one thing he has always said is where is that gear you can go up? And where is unless we draft perfectly, I struggle to because that game too. I don't know if we were intentionally like just trying out something or if we were tilted, but that reminded me so much of these Reaper tilt drafts where we're completely abandoning the playbook of what our team is strong at. Like, why are we putting Sven on Lucian and Vulcan on a like a facilitator like enchanter? Like, I know we have to expand, but that's not what our team's good at. Like, I know people saying, "Oh, Vulcan needs to like go on like the Nico and like these pocket picks." No, he doesn't. Play your shit.
He
Play
has his
like,
pocket
that
pick. He
works.
has Bard. Like his Bard is amazing. Play Bard.
Yeah, but like he doesn't need. Like I don't want to see us on Lucian Milio ever again. That's not us. We're not lane dominant players. Like, and that's the thing that the game one draft was so hard to play if we fell behind. Like because we did start with like the 1.5k gold lead. Like we were doing well in lane. Was able to like shove them with grubs. Came into the Drake fight in game one, just completely egoed it, lost, and then the game was kind of hard to play from there.
Yeah.
Because you
I
had freaking oh, what was that? We had Ezreal. Was it Ezreal Alistar into Jin Bard, like uh Rumble even. Like that lane's unplayable. And then Jin as fucking collector immediately and a collector IE so quickly. And it's like, alright, well this game's kinda over.
Yeah, 25-minute game. It was rough. I like I said, I think you guys played even from game 1. You know, if it was like game 1 you played your standard draft, game 2 you tilt draft, I'd say sure. You guys clearly came in with the strategy of like, hey, we're gonna match FlyQuest's like late game strategy by playing late game champs as well. They came in, we're like, hey, FlyQuest came in, we're gonna match their early game with early game, you know,
One
comps.
thing I will say is we didn't lose lanes in these games. Like it wasn't like a oh we were just getting bodied in lane and then we got ran over. It like we were making dumb decisions and they were punishing the hell out of us in like dragon fights,
Yeah.
herald, like
I think you guys will go
everywhere that
back to
wasn't like
drafting
full lane.
normal and like your style,
That's the
and you
thing.
guys will be fine.
I'm not um I'm not hitting the panic button. But I that's why I kind of want to outline like the importance of not losing this split. I want us to like if we go out third, it is what it is. If we go out to you Shopify, that you 100 Thieves and Dig, I'm sorry. Something has to go there.
I still think context matter. Like if Contracts plays like he did against NRG, for example, like, and you guys lose, that's a lot more forgivable than if we're playing the way we are right now and you guys lose. Like, then I kind of agree with you. Hit the panic button. But as of right now, I think you guys are going to beat Team Liquid. So I'm not worried for you guys at all.
Like,
What's your prediction? I
I
know like you're like, oh, I'm not gonna. I'm trying not to jinx it, but like, what's your prediction?
I think we will edge out a 3-2 win.
3-2. Interesting. I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be pretty one sided.
Like
I
if
I think
we
it's gonna
come
be
in
3-0
and
team.
completely 3-0,
Yeah, I think you guys are gonna 3-0 them.
I'm that's more surprising than, in my opinion, you giving yourself a game versus FlyQuest or like a 3-2 and
Okay,
3-0.
Team
That would
Liquid
be
looked better, but they were playing against Shopify, and they caught us off guard. Like, chances are you guys are gonna be much more prepared for what they did. Team Liquid's not gonna have the same advantages that they did against us, and even against us. The reason I'm saying 3-0 is because even against us, they were giving us angles. That game too, we got 2 picks. If we don't like keep going and literally lose a 3v5 because they were so far ahead, like we probably can come back into the game. If that was you guys in that position, I'm pretty sure you guys win that game. That's why I'm saying I just think that this Team Liquid have not been sharp enough to take to actually beat you guys. That's what I think. I think the games are going to be close. I think game 1 is going to be really close. Game 2 is going to probably be in Team Liquid's favors. You guys are going to come back. Game 3, Team Liquid's going to run out of steam. They're going to be changing junglers. They're not going to know. That's the other thing. They like it is an advantage in some sense of having different junglers and not letting like the opponent know who's going to play first, blah blah blah, having to prep. But it's also a disadvantage to the team because you're playing 2 very different styles, and like don't tell me both of them are just as good because otherwise, like you haven't been playing both styles the entire time. Clearly, one of them is superior. So UG is like, if you're starting UG, guess what? I'm pretty sure he's going to have nerves. There's no way he's not going to be playing to 100% of his capacity. You're starting Umti, well, guess what? Umti is like mental spiraling right now. He's not looking great. Like, I just think Team Liquid situations is being mitigated a lot by people saying, oh, well, we have Spawn. Everything's going to be great. Imagine after all this, it's a TL3-0. Okay, if it's a TL3-0, I don't know. I should just stop talking
If we
forever if
get
that happens.
3-0'd in embarrassing fashion, I worry for us in the lower bracket, like whether the matchup would be against you or 100 Thieves.
It'll be against Dig. You guys will play Dig first. Oh,
No,
you
I
mean
mean
after Dig? After Dig.
I
Oh.
we will beat Dig. I don't care. I'm sorry. We will beat Dig even playing like if we're playing bad. We're beating Dig in a best of 5. I'm not. If we're losing to Dig, then we have bigger problems than like what we've
Yeah.
said about.
I just want to give my
But
condolences to
I'm
Lion for actually like Lion and DSG last split were the first 2 teams to exit. They're the first 2 teams to exit again. Lion has been touted like a part of the top 4 this entire time, and they actually didn't even make it to playoffs. My condolences, guys.
it's really annoying because I actually like their early game ideas. Like when you watch them, like the eye test isn't as bad as the results. Yeah, like in the early game, I'm like, hey, like that's pretty decent. Like, and then you check the result later on, it's they lost that game. Like, I feel like that's the storyline, and like, they're gonna have roster changes. Like, Oddie already like alluded to it.
Yeah, pretty sure he straight up leaked it. Or like confirmed it, right? He was like, "We're gonna change something." I don't know. I'm not gonna say what, but we have to change something.
Yeah, I can't see Saints staying in this league after summer.
Saint has
Personally,
been playing so well. Saint is like their best player.
no, he doesn't want to be there, bro. Like he really like, and what team is going to like where does he go like top team wise?
Shopify?
I guess. I mean, you do need a mid laner because your
Unless
one's ass.
Palafox, like, look, I still
Uh,
think keep Palafox to the end of the year. I will continue to say this. I said this about Fudge. He's playing better. I said it like I will continue to say it about every single one of our players. Give us until the end of the year. It's a 2-year project.
there's not
Don't
enough
jump the gun.
turnaround time to make it worth changing any player.
Exactly. But if Palafox is like still has the worst stats in the game and like is not carrying, not doing damage, like I wouldn't be surprised if Shopify are like, okay, we're one mid laner away from being a top 2 team. Like I can see them making that argument, making that pitch to the GM or to whoever has the budget and getting a good mid laner, like a better mid laner. I'm not surprised. Again, I'm not saying like this is what I would do, just knowing the nature of sports. Maybe Palafox like completely comes back in summer. Great. That's why I think you give him a year, right? You signed him on a 2-year contract, at least give him half of that, you know? But yeah, I think
Yeah.
he could join us. I wouldn't be surprised.
I He absolutely tilted the fuck out of me on pros.
Saint? Oh, a
Because
Palafox.
look, like I'm hearing that the Loki slander was insane. Like, by the way, I don't care if like because pros only judge it on skill level. They don't judge it on how they actually perform in the season. I'm sorry, Loki is at least it's a second or third team All Pro. Like consistent, he's been consistent throughout this season. Like very very good. And yes, pros will probably not think of him like highly skilled. If that's the case, then APA should never be anywhere near these all pros, by the way. But if we're basing this on like skill
I agree.
and
I
like
think APA
how
cannot be part of this All Pro.
like
If he is, it's like
like
slander.
and like Palafox, who the fuck are you? Like you would be on your knees begging to join C9 right now, then be on Shopify. Like stay humble. You're one of the worst performing like mid laners in the league. Like
Statistically, he's the worst. I can say that much.
yes, they're living like Shopify are living off of we have the contracts Palafox duo and like people living off of his good performance in that summer split in Worlds and I'm sorry he will not be on Shopify next season. I will bet you good money on that.
He's actually slowly improving. Like he's slowly getting better. It is slow, but he has been improving. I have seen
You
it. I
can't.
watch every
You,
single
I'm
one of
sorry.
games.
Yeah, okay, but you can't polish a turd.
But we've
Like
seen him be a diamond before. That's the thing. You can polish it enough to be a diamond for a split. He just needs to be a diamond in summer split, and all of a sudden people forget about it. He has 3 good series. We make it like
I will
we've finished
never
third.
forgive him for how he slumped after the Worlds and Championship winning run he had. Like the next season, that entire team took the year off, and I'm like, fuck you.
I don't know. Contracts didn't take a
Because
year off. Oh. Contracts was trying his
okay,
best.
like the majority of that team decided, all right, I'm gonna put my feet up because we won a title, we made Worlds quarterfinals. Like, it ain't easy, like what they did. But like, I despise players like that. It really like angers me because you have the opportunity to go on and do more and be better.
I mean, I was calling for Palafox and Dokla to not to like be replaced on NRG. I was just like, this is unacceptable. Like I will be honest.
Right,
I fought
like
Revan. Like I was like very confused by Revan picking him up. But as of right now, like I said, I'm maybe the Loki slander is a
like
little too much. Yeah.
that's the same reason I didn't want Reaper back because how do you after I know we had like a long history of Reaper, like many quarterfinals appearances, a semi-finals appearance, many finals with him, but then to finally win with him, and then the next split, he just completely became incompetent and like this was according to I think maybe wrong, but Sven on an episode with Foreign on what I don't know what that series is, but the one
Reflections.
that yes, that one where it just sounded like he completely dropped the ball in Summer Split and was just like, and then like he left immediately after, and it's like
He got kicked, no?
one of the things I can't even remember. It's been so long, but that's why I didn't want him back. And it's the same reason, like for Palafox, it's like how in some ways, how dare you? Like you have like we don't get that many good North American players, and you had like the brand, you had like the APA, like the Yapton America, you had like that Palafaker, you had that Xiaohu meme, like you had then the championship run, and then you beat G2, like you performed the go against Caps, and like this is what you are now. I really hope he has a good playoffs because it's so disappointing to see players that can be good just completely just not that they don't. I'm never going to accuse him of not caring, but it just felt like he dropped the ball big time with like following the NRG like run.
I will say this. We only see stage games and we don't see scrims. And a lot of player perception is from scrims. And if you hear, like, I'm not leaking anything, but if you just hear what Shopify players are saying, I think maybe even Palfox said it on pros. He said, like, we do way better against Fly and C9 than you guys do, Team Liquid, right? He was talking to APA. Like, my guess, my hypothesis, again, no inside information or anything, is that he matches up quite well in scrims with these mid laners, with against Quad and Quid and APA and Loki and like the team themselves also play better against those teams, but when they come on stage, things fall apart and they're slowly trying to figure out how to not let things fall apart. Like I think Shopify had like one of the best early games against all the top 4 teams, and yet we still lost every single, well, not to 100, right? But we lost to the other 3 for some reason, and like we keep losing games that we're ahead. Like clearly there's something there, and whether it's Palafox getting caught or Palafox mechanically misplaying or whatever it is, like whatever's happening on stage, My guess is isn't happening in scrims. And so when Palafox has that opinion, or APA is like Loki's kind of like a fraud or whatever, it could be because of that. I don't know that it is, but a lot of
Like,
times it is
I think
something like that.
APA's one was more like banter.
Uh huh.
Um, but like at the moment, yeah, they're saying he doesn't really have like the firepower, and I would agree with that. Like, I wouldn't say like Loki absolutely blows people away, but he's also not like I've hardly seen him have like, okay, you've had a stinker, and we also have to remember this kid's moved halfway across the world. Like Quid didn't start off great. Like these players, like I'm like Thanatos didn't. I think he came third, but he was not the player that he is like now. These players take time. Like everyone moves at different paces, and like maybe Loki will never be like that flashy saint type player, but like he doesn't have to be. I wouldn't say APA is like the dominant player. Like he has intangibles that make him a valuable player, and that's what I have always respected him in that guard, even if I don't think he's very good as like skill wise. He understands what the coach is trying to tell him, and he implements that plan like very well, like better than most mids.
I think he's one
And
of the few mids that actually improves. Like, for example, when he first started playing Azir, he sucked. Now he's good at it. When he started playing
coachable, like I
Tristana,
think
he
he's
sucked.
coachable. Like he's a
Yeah.
very coachable player, and like I always will respect players that they know their strengths, they know their weaknesses. They also try to target the team's weaknesses, other than, oh, I'll just play myself. Like I'll play my lane, and if I do well, I think then we win. Like he's one of the few players actively thinking about the game, and he's quite smart. I just skill wise, I don't think he's very good at all. But
I think you
you
just
don't
mentioned
need.
like 10 things that he's great about and the 10 very important things that are great. And then you're like, well, but
Okay,
besides everything that he's
no,
great at, I don't think he's good.
no, okay. When I mean like, I don't think he's good skill wise. I
Like
don't think he's a very
mechanically.
skilled. Mechanically, I don't think he's a very good player.
That's fair.
But he's also proven you need the other side of the game to be a top player, and he has that in spades. So
Yeah.
like good player, not so good mechanical. But what does the mechanical, I guess, matter when he's like winning championships and
I know,
going
right?
to every single international event he's ever. Like I wish JoJo was like that. We may fucking have gone to an international event.
Okay. I will say this about EU, just because you mentioned it. I think this is just my random prediction. Either it's G2 and KC, they just like are inevitable and they go again, or it's Fnatic and Koi. For some reason I feel like Fnatic and Koi are actually gonna do it. They're both gonna make the finals. Probably Fnatic win. I wouldn't be surprised if Mad win just because Fnatic have like choked. They've never won an LEC. Like whatever. I don't care who wins the finals, but I just have a feeling like that. Sorry, not Koi. K Corp cannot keep getting away with winning these games, and G2 cannot keep getting away with stomping game one and then absolutely running it down game two and three. Like, I just have a feeling that it's gonna happen, or it's just gonna continue, and we're just gonna have G2 and Casey, and we're gonna be very disappointed at MSI. I don't know. I just wanted to share that.
Yeah, I haven't watched a lot of EU recently, so if you think this is what the narrative, then I'm gonna believe you because I trust you.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to have faith in like Koi and Fnatic after not doing it for so many times and just failing every single step of the way. Every time we think they're gonna do it, they fail. But there's always hope. I'm actually feeling quite tired, so maybe we can save the LCK rant for next time. But God, dear Lord, this format sucks. That's all I'll say for now. This LCK format sucks. And I actually think there's like a reason behind it, but we can save that for the next podcast.
Yeah.
All right, thanks guys for watching, and we'll see you next week when Cloud9 and Shopify win, and we'll be very very happy
No, I hope
gamers.
so. We'll also just as a like kind of announcement, we will be doing, whether that be next week's episode or like another podcast. But we will be doing like a special like teams related episode with David that we will be going over like state of our, because we're kind of presenting it as like a, I'm like the OG, like the legacy team. David is like the present team, and then Cloud is like the future like team. We're kind of just gonna go over like our like the state of our teams. Are we like our content, and then also going over the content side. I know David has spoken a little bit on his Twitter. Like, go and check that out. But we have a lot to say on our orcs basically, so that should be a fun one.
Yeah, it should be. I'm looking forward to it. All right, take care, guys.